All right. So for those of you who just are joining the recording, we already did our intro. So unfortunately you missed that, but everybody is really excited to be here to just do something positive for themselves now and then their future selves as well. So I'm going to just jump right in, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and you get to see how many thousands of tabs I have open at any given moment. All right. Do you guys see me and the screen? Yep. Okay, good. And you guys feel free to talk during this. This is meant to be really interactive and casual. This information is outdated, I'm just realizing, but this is the email you should have gotten. It should look something like this. You do have a video that is about unboxing your kit. So I will spend a little time tonight talking about the products and how to incorporate them. But in my opinion, that is only one portion of this journey. And what I want to spend the majority on is talking about mindset, as well as some practical strategies for setting yourself up for success for our first day, which is Monday. So the first thing I really want to encourage you guys to do is fill out the goal form. That's for me, but it's just as much for you, because I think writing down what it is that you intend to do over the next 30 days really solidifies it in your mind. So it's not just an idea, but it's actually a plan. And if you need help coming up with specific concrete goals, I've been doing this for a really long time, and I would love to lock arms with you and just kind of do some of that exploring. And it doesn't have to all be about numbers. It can be, like really tangible things, but it can also be like feel more empowered in the kitchen. And that's hard to measure. So it's nice to have some measurable goals as well. But just writing things down really is really good for your brain to reinforce, like, okay, I'm not just like throwing this out there. I'm actually doing something for myself. Okay, the next thing is we do have a Facebook group. So if you are on Facebook, feel free to jump into this Flourish with Healthy Living. That is a big group. There are people all over the country that are in that group. But then we also have our smaller Facebook Messenger group. So if you and I are not connected yet on Facebook and you are on Facebook and open to using the Messenger app, please send me a friend request, or we can get connected just through Messenger. If you just hate Facebook, I totally get it. But I would love to still have access to the whole group. Otherwise, I will be sending emails at least a couple times a week to make sure that you're up to speed on everything and you have all the resources and recipes that you could ever want. And then under here are all your links. And so this is where I want you to spend some time between now and Monday, just kind of reading through some of this stuff. You'll probably come up with some questions. Please reach out and ask me, because if you're wondering something, I want to be able to help clear that up for you. So I have the other tabs open here. So this is just going to give you an example of some of the content that we have. So you have literally more recipes than you could possibly use in a 30-day time period. So please don't set out to try every single one of these, but just go through and pick a few that sound good to you, that sound like they would, meet your palate and your taste buds, and go ahead and try some of those. Maybe make a plan, maybe make a recipe or a grocery shopping list, and just get at it. So you've got lots of recipes there. In the guidebook is really going to walk you through like why we're doing what we're doing and exactly what it is that we're doing. I want to spend just a moment on the clean the kitchen form, because this is usually where I get the most questions here at the beginning, like, what is it that we're eliminating? So the very high level is things that cause inflammation for our system, such as gluten and dairy, or things that make our body more acidic and less alkaline. For example, vinegars and mustard. There are things on here that you're going to be like, wait, but those are healthy. And it's like, yes, there is nothing on here except maybe a Twinkie. I don't know that we have that written out. That is definitely part of a healthy lifestyle. But what we're doing during this 30 days is just kind of pushing the pause button on things that don't necessarily serve most bodies, so that you can learn which foods do serve your body. And I know you probably are all narrowing in on coffee and alcohol, so I'm just going to touch base on those really quick. If coffee is a deal breaker for you, keep it. Just please be aware of what you're putting in your coffee. A lot of times that is really the kicker, like artificial sweeteners and different coffee creamers and stuff have a lot of junk in them. So either switch over to like an almond milk or oat milk, something like that. Or once you get your package and you have your fizz, that is really going to be a great replacement if you are open to taking a break from the coffee for a 30-day time period and just let your body reset. I am a coffee drinker. I love it. But a couple times a year when I do this program, I just take a break and know that I'm not completely addicted to something, and also let my body become more alkaline and less acidic. Now, when it comes to alcohol, that is a deal breaker for me. I definitely think we all could use a break from just 30 days. 30 days will be over in a flash, and the wine and the beer will still be there, but you actually might change your relationship with it after that break. I know it sounds probably crazy, but a lot of times people are like, I usually crave it every night at 5 o'clock. And after 3 days in, I feel so good. I'm sleeping better. I'm not bloated. My skin cleared up and I don't miss it. So it's just, if you're curious how you might be without it, please give it a try. All right. Any questions on that?
So does that include non-alcoholic beer?
A really good question. I have literally never been asked that question. If it is gluten-free, it's probably okay, but let me look into that and get back to you. Was that Michelle?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Let me look into that and get back to you. All right, any other questions, you guys?
And then on the coffee, if it's black decaffeinated coffee, is that okay? Or
So it's not actually the caffeine. So our fizz sticks do have some caffeine. It's more the acidity.
okay.
Yeah. So, and I think it's helpful when you understand the reason why it kind of helps the brain like, oh, okay, that's not so bad. I get it. We could spend all night on the avoid stuff. So please, if you've got specific questions or you're curious or struggling with like, how the heck am I going to do this? Please reach out to me. I'd love, or even hang out afterwards. But I know David has to go in about 5 minutes. So I'm just going to like fly through the other 2 links, or actually 1 link. And then I want to show you guys some stuff that I have pulled out in the kitchen already. I want to show you a really quick and easy, yummy meal, breakfast, lunch, or snack. All right. This is the guidebook. So this is one that I would definitely just spend some time going through. But the main point that I want to make here is that in this program, again, we are going for big picture, healthy living, which means that we are not counting every calorie that we're eating. We're not coming to the food table or to the table with a food scale. We're not obsessing and taking a calculator out to figure out our macros. The point is to become intuitive and listen to your body. Like if you are hungry, let's feed it a good balance of fat, protein, and carbs, and some veggies, so that you can actually have a fueled body to be able to get through the workday and get through your workout and have energy and have a clean, stabilized mood throughout the day. So we are balancing out. We are not eliminating a food group. We're not restricting or depriving, and we're definitely not starving. So a lot of times people say, oh my gosh, I actually eat way more than I used to, but I have so much more energy and I feel better and my clothes fit better and the scale is going down. And it's just like, yeah, that's, our bodies are meant to have food so that we have energy so that we can do all the things. If we are restricting and depriving and dieting, our body holds on to all those calories instead of using them efficiently. Questions on that? Okay, and then this is the goal form that you'll fill out for me. All right, do you guys see just me again?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'm gonna flip around and then turn on my other camera so that you guys can see. So I have just some, hold on here, got it, and start video. Okay. So this one's gonna be me, and this one's gonna be my food, and you guys should be able to see both, and I'm just gonna add a quick spotlight to this one. Okay, so you should see me 2 times. It's a lot of me. All right, so when I talk about food prep, you'll definitely hear that during the program. What I mean by that is setting myself up for breakfast, lunches, and snacks throughout the week. It's very important to be mindful and intentional and think about what you're going to eat ahead of time and have a plan. And even better is to have food already ready to go. Lindsay, I think this is especially going to be applicable to you. Like you work, you want to have things that you can eat quickly in the break room. And so you don't have time to think about it, right? You need it to just be ready. So here's a couple of examples just for myself. So I'll roast up a big pan of veggies. I'll make some, this is chicken with a little ground up pecans on top that was really yummy. And then I roasted some chickpeas. So this is my food prep that I did for myself a couple days ago, knowing that I had a busy week. And this would be for my lunches. Typically I'm gonna cook like a family dinner fresh, something like ready to go that night. But when I say food prep, I'm talking about breakfast and lunch for myself. So if you guys watched the other video that we did on Monday night, you saw me make the overnight oats. So it's just oatmeal, a layer of protein pudding, and then some coconut and pecans on top. So that's a great breakfast. Some other ideas that are really, really easy is Trader Joe's smoked salmon. I love the everything but the bagel spice. And you might put that with some hummus and some microgreens on a rice cake. So that would be a crunchy, salty, perfectly balanced protein, fat, and carb with veggies meal that you could make ahead of time and eat for a snack. It wouldn't be, maybe you'd have 2 of them if you wanted it to be for a lunch type thing. But that's a great way to just think about before it's time to eat, what might you want to have? So the thing I want to just throw together tonight for you is this could be a breakfast. Again, it could be a snack. And it literally will take me about, as long as it takes me to cook an egg. I'm going to turn my, there we go. So I just have one little egg going, and I'm going to take some avocado. So one of the things that you'll learn during this program is like, what is a fat? What is a carb, and what is protein? And the reason why I love having a protein powder, and not just any protein powder, but one that I feel good about feeding to my kids, is that when you open your pantry, it's carbs and fat. That's what you're going to find. They are readily available. But protein is hard. You've got to do a little work for it. That's why something like this is going to set you up for success. If you didn't have time to do something like this earlier in the week. But you'll learn like, oh, okay, avocados are my source of fat. And in this case, my egg is going to be my source of protein. And then my carb would be my rice cake. And if you guys are curious, I just use the lightly salted organic rice cakes. And then my secret ingredient, not so much of a secret, but if you guys haven't tried the everything but the bagel spice from Trader Joe's, you're missing out. I highly recommend it. I love it on pretty much anything. All right, so I've got my rice cake, my avocado, my sprouts, and egg. And like I said, that took me like maybe 2 minutes, and I'll top it with my everything but the bagel. And that was a nice, yummy, easy, delicious, I could even eat it with my hands kind of snack. Questions on any of that? David, I know you've got to go. Really quick, I wanted to show you guys, once you get your kit, you're going to be like, what do I do with all this stuff? Here's my main message for you is keep it simple. Maybe the first day you just start by adding a fizz. If you're used to an afternoon soda, have a fizz instead. If you have a hard time getting in all your water, look at your fizz as an opportunity to increase that. Here is how you open your fizz. So it's got like a little tear here. Instead of ripping across, you pull down and it creates a little hole. Okay, so that's that for the fizz. I like to do a mixture for myself. Debbie has her own mixture. Everybody kind of does it their own way. I mix the Mind Health, Gut Health, and Fizz in a big water bottle, and I drink that like first thing in the morning. Mind Health did not come in your package. That's something you could always add later, but you get the idea. You can mix and match things to your palate. For the protein shakes, I like to have mine as a recipe. So I think of it as my Starbucks, Frappuccino. Bye, David. Have a good night. I think of it as, a replacement for that. So I'm going to have my coffee shake and I'm going to follow a recipe. So I don't like to throw my greens in with my shake because then it kind of messes with my taste, and I love the taste of it. But other people, everything goes in their shake. So it's whatever is easiest for you to be able to incorporate everything. The one thing that I will say is probably the most important thing to make sure that you get in is the gut health microbiome support. And again, it just comes in this little stick pack, and you can mix it in with other things or just shoot it with like 2 ounces of water. Let's see, any questions that you guys have on either food prep or products or overall mindset or anything?
So I did today I did some of the chocolate powder with some blueberries and strawberries, and then threw in some of the greens in there, and then a scoop of the gut health. That's different than the packaged things.
So there's 2. So the big package is called the prebiotic fiber. And then there's the gut health microbiome support that comes in the little stick packs. So they're both in the gut health family, but 2 different products. And one note on the fiber, so it's called prebiotic fiber. I recommend starting out with about 1/4 of a scoop and then working your way up to a full scoop over a course of about a week or so.
So I take the Benefiber for fiber. So is that comparable to that, or should
Let's
I
do
be?
a comparison. You might not need both. So let's do a comparison and see. One of the things that I wanted to show you guys as well, and maybe I can pull it up real quick and show you. So if you are curious about ingredients, about pretty much anything that Arbonne has, and I literally just pulled this up a second ago, so it shouldn't take me long to find it. You just go to the website and you click on the product. So say you wanted to see what all was in gut health. I'm going to pull this up for us really quick. There's something called Meet the Product. Sharing my screen really quick. Okay, so I'm on the gut health microbiome support here. And if you come all the way down, there's a link that says, why can't I click that? There we go. Meet the product. And then it'll just do download PDF. And if you had a question about like, does this interact with medicine that I take? Or, is this good for me? I want to send it to my doctor. This is the document that I would recommend. It literally spells everything out. One of the things that I love about Arbonne is you never have to wonder or worry. Everything is very, very, very transparent. So it's going to give you all of the ingredients and all of the information. So Michelle, let's look at the ingredients on yours and the ingredients on this and see if they are comparable, or it might be more than you need.
Okay. So the two differences between the one powder and the little ones in the container is what? You said same family, but slightly different?
Right. So the prebiotic fiber is a source of flavorless fiber. So most of us are not getting enough fiber in our diet just as is. But that is why I recommend starting with the 1/4 of a scoop, because your body will let you know. And the thing is, interestingly, with fiber, it can have opposite effects, and it could make you backed up, or it can make you go more. Like, that's why we want to just kind of ease into it. The digestion microbiome support is prebiotics, probiotics, and a digestive enzyme. So that is something that I recommend literally everybody take, because our gut health, like the overall gut health, impacts every part of our body, including our brain. And so once you can get that working properly on a daily basis, it kind of can clean up a lot of other things that you might be having in life.
Well, I have to say the shake was really good. I was very impressed with the chocolate. Yeah.
I'm telling you, it is the best. I've tried literally every kind I could get my hands on, and Arbonne was hands down the best flavor, versatility, mixability. I make all kinds of crazy stuff with it, brownies and cookies and overnight oats and everything. And it works really, really well. And it's good for you. All right, Lindsay, Debbie, Drew, any other questions?
Not right now.
Okay.
I think I'll have questions for you on Saturday.
I'm sure. I'm sure you will. Just here's my advice. My main thing is just take the first week and give yourself a lot of grace, and don't expect to be perfect ever. And definitely don't expect to come out of the gates like having it all together.
Right.
If you look at this as a journey, like we're going to take these 30 days and practice what it's like to live a healthy lifestyle just normally, but it's not going to be an overnight thing. And if you put a lot of pressure on yourself to do it perfectly, then the first time you slip up or forget your food or like whatever, then it's like, oh, I guess I just blew it. Like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the book, The Gap and the Gain. I highly, highly recommend it. The whole concept is you're comparing your current self to your past self. And if you're always just improving by a little bit, then you can always be proud. But if you're always comparing yourself to this ideal that is unachievable and unrealistic, then you're always going to be upset, because you're always like, well, I didn't do it well enough, instead of being like, but look how far I came. So that definitely is the mindset that I encourage everybody to have when you're doing something like this. Like, you're going to be a better person in 30 days, regardless of how perfectly you do this. Okay, you guys, we have 2 minutes left. I can keep talking, but I want to make sure I'm answering questions that you have.
I think I just need to look through all the material and then have questions for you on Saturday with what I've got.
Yep, feel free to reach out. And then as soon as your package comes, feel free to be like, what do I do? But just go back and reference that email. I kind of go through everything in that video and kind of walk you through. And one note too on the guidebook, and it'll show like a sample day. Just so you know, that is not what I do. And it's not meant to be a prescription, if you will. Like, you don't have to have 2 shakes a day and a dinner. Like for me, that would not be nearly enough. So I'll have a shake as a breakfast and then another one as a snack, or maybe I'll do pudding as dessert. But I'm filling in the rest of the time with meals like this that fit the guidelines, but fill me up, give me the energy that I need. So again, just know that you're fitting your life into the guidelines rather than trying to fit into a perfect box where it all looks perfect. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to follow that exact guideline. That's one way to do it, but there's lots of ways to do it. All right, so if everybody is in our Facebook Messenger, that's where I'm going to be sharing the majority of the little snippets, and I'll just do like a video every other day or so to show you different things. But please, the people who realize the best results are the ones who are in communication with me, because if you're struggling with something and I don't know it, I can't help. So please don't suffer in silence. Feel free to reach out for anything. I'm here to help. I really, really want to support you. And Debbie is too. She's here. She's going to be doing this alongside of you guys, but also she's a great resource as well. All right, I'm going to go